How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Box to Box. The games are coming thick and fast. Midweek fixture, big one. West Ham, top four at the moment, but all could change come this fixture Wednesday. I'm with Dan Lawless. Dan, how's it going?
Yes, mate, it's going very well, very well.
I saw you made a face when I said all can change. I'm not saying all will change. I'm just saying it can change on Wednesday.
It's big, mate. It's huge. It's a huge game to be for. Like you said, it can change, and I'm hoping it won't, mate. Like I'm apprehensive about this game.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Arsenal 6th, West Ham 4th, 26 points, 28 points. You've scored 7 more. You've conceded 3 less. You deserve to be where you are at the moment. I looked at form, and the form kind of surprised me. We're both going into this game in poor form, in my opinion. Obviously, Arsenal poorer. I look at the last 5. We've won 2, lost 3. In the last 5 in the league for West Ham, you've won 1, drawn 2, lost 2, I believe.
In the last 5,
yeah.
Is that not so? Liverpool aren't in our last 5, no.
No, when I checked it, that was literally the 6th fixture along. I can quickly go to it again now and have a look at it. But yeah,
it
was 1-0 loss to Wolves. Then you had the Brighton draw. You beat Chelsea. You lost to Man City, and the last draw out against Burnley. So yeah,
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because sometimes you look at the results and they don't always tell the full story of things. I mean, the Man City. I look at that Man City game. I mean. And anyone would expect like to go to Man City and lose 2-1. You're like 2-1, okay, we lost 2-1.
Take it.
But it was a whole madness anyway. Like the game, and I'm not even trying to make it, but the conditions were crazy. I don't know if you saw it. The snow was everywhere. I don't know how the game didn't get stopped. And we're trying to clear the snow. Literally, we play counter-attack, right? Especially against teams like Man City. Every time we try and counter-attack, the ball gets caught up in the snow.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're nicking it off us and boom, creating a chance. Like, it was just crazy.
It was a mess. It was.
But like I said, I'm not going to even say they didn't deserve to win, but, they did. But it's Man City. But, yeah, there's some of these games, like the Burnley result, man. We dominated that game. Created chance after chance. We should have got a penalty. Especially like considering that a penalty results from the day before, the bloody Liverpool and the Man United, all these soft penalties, and we didn't get that penalty. But at the end of the
one near the touchline when he attempted to kick that was a penalty.
Yeah, like you gotta say, like, if that's on Mo Salah, that's given without a doubt. If that's on Salah, that's that they give that. No, or Kane or anyone, they give.
Or if it's against Arsenal, they give that as well. So
yeah, it's no consistency in it. Like, there's no consistency. That's the problem. But at the same time, the problem is we're creating so many chances. We need to be more clinical in front of the goal. So yeah, it's not like we've been just terrible. We've just lacked a bit of cutting edge sometimes. Even though we're still scoring goals, we have to create a lot of chances to stick it in the back of the net. So it's frustrating. But and the injuries as well.
Before we get into the game and team news, injuries and all of that, Moyes and Arteta took over the clubs pretty similar times, very different positions. West Ham were nearer the relegation zone. Arsenal were 8th place. What do you put this all down to? Is it all down to Moyes? Has Gold and Sullivan managed to pull something out the bag? Did they get credit? Because in 2 years, West Ham have gone from a team struggling to a team, not only this season, but last season, competing for top 4. So what is it down to? Just Moyes, a bit more than...
I definitely give credit, a lot of credit, I fall the credit to Moyes, because at the end of the day, like, he took control of how the club was being run from a footballing side of things. Like, Sullivan interfered too much. He got too much involved in the transfers and all of these things. He would come out as well and upset players by basically dragging them, saying his son didn't want him to sign them and all of this stuff. But yeah, just too involved. And we'd use like agents as our scouts basically. And of course, agents, like, they have a vested interest in their player being signed. They don't care if they're good for you. They just want to get a good deal for their player. So he'd rely on these agents to recommend him players. And Moyes just basically come in and was like, no, I'm taking control of the transfers. If I don't want a player, I'm not having that player. Like, because Sullivan would do that to managers. Like, oh, look, what about this player? Take this player. and they'd go, well, it's better than nothing. I'll just take it. Where Moyes is like, I'm not just going to take players for the sake of taking players. And then we have these useless players on the wage book that don't fit our system and our style of play. So that's really changed things. So he is looking at a style of play, looking at a system and what he wants to do, and now looking at players who can fit that. That's why all of our transfers have worked out really well. We ain't really signed anyone that's turned out to be a flop because everyone fits what Moyes wants to do. So I have to give Moyes credit. Like he's building it. He's got his backroom staff who I think have all been quality, and now we're signing, new directors of footballs and scouts and all sorts. So he's building a project there, which I think is good. And Sullivan's taking a back seat, so I think that's down to what it is, man. And big progress. That's what helps. And I look at that, and like you said, Moyes and Arteta took over at the same times. And I often talk about this with certain Arsenal fans who talk about progress, right? How Arsenal have progressed. And I don't see I can't really say that Arsenal have progressed under Arteta. You can't really say, well, you finished 8th, 2 seasons running.
Yeah.
You're sort of like in and around competing for the top 4, but you could say that 4th spot is more open now, and you have to see where you're going to be at end of season.
On one hand, you can say competing for top 4. On the other hand, you could say easily a couple poor results, you're mid-table again.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's so tight. So to say like progress, like when you're spending that much money, the guy's been here for a bit of a while now. There needs to be that real progress. Like I see things where people say, "Oh, we would have lost to Norwich like under Emery, or we would have lost on this side." No, like you wouldn't have lost those games.
Yeah.
You didn't get Wenger out, right, for the guy who was just finishing 4th, and that wasn't good enough. To then go to Arteta and you're saying getting Europa League is good enough. I said this to an Arsenal fan. I said, "What do you want? What do you want this season? Like, what does Arteta have to achieve for you?" And he said, "Yeah, if he gets us 6th, that's good. 6th, 5th, that's good for me." It's like, wait a minute. So you're saying that you taking a break from the Europa League, playing 1 game less a week to get back to the Europa League? What is the point in that? Like everyone's saying, we can take a break from the Europa League. Let's just focus on the league now. So you're going to focus on the league to get back to the Europa League that you're taking a break from. What's the point?
It's madness. You know what it comes down to? It comes down to, this air of positivity that seems to be such an important factor for a lot of fans. On one hand, when you support a football team and you're meant to believe, you're meant to hope, you're meant to support. But at the same time, that doesn't mean blind support. That doesn't mean blindly calling progress when in reality, like you said, Dan, how can you call it progress finishing 8th twice in a season where you haven't got Europe? Okay, you're in and around the cusp for top 4. But like I said at the start of this show, West Ham, the results have shown that you deserve to be in that position. However, Arsenal, when push comes to shove, yes, we beat Leicester away, big result. We beat Tottenham at home, we usually do. But Everton away, United away, I won't call Liverpool, Man City or Chelsea, because regardless of this season, I think those 3 are clear. And I look at this game coming on Wednesday, Dan, and I've said over the past week, no disrespect to West Ham, because some people have taken it as maybe I feel entitled or it's a disrespect to West Ham. I respect what West Ham are doing. You can see progress there. What I'm going to say is, in an Arsenal manager's second full season, he should be beating West Ham at home. Regardless who the manager is, a club the size of Arsenal, and I'm not saying West Ham are not big, because West Ham are big as well, but a club the size of Arsenal, a club in the big 6, in a manager's second full season, if it's Arteta, Allegri, Pep, Sir Alex, Wenger, they should be beating West Ham at home.
That's it. This is the thing, mate. If you're supposed to be a big club, your fan base needs to have the expectations of a big club. And if a manager isn't living up to those expectations, you're right to say we need a change. It's not working. You see how Chelsea do things and it works. And that if you persist, like it's the days, and I think people are pining for those days where you'd have a Wenger and he can be there for like all of these years and win all of these things. It's not, football's changed. Like it's so rare to have a manager that's just in that job for a long time. I see someone said this. I think it was a pundit said that basically there's no such thing as long-term managers, just short-term managers that keep winning.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how football is today. And people just so badly want the idea of this young manager who's going to be there until he's an old man and he just won all of these things and he's built Arsenal back up. And it's an amazing, romantic idea. It's a dream. Yeah, it's a pipe dream. But you just got to be kind of ruthless with it, because that's football today. And each time that you persist with this, you fall behind the other teams, and other teams come and overtake you that build things. And all of a sudden, you'll gamble on this guy and you're trying to give him 3, 4, 5 years to build something. You could be, in and around mid-table, players going to other teams. Leicester might solidify themselves. Mm-hmm. We might, or Newcastle, if they don't get ready, so time is of the essence, man. It's
yeah. I mean, it's all good and well being patient and trusting the process and whatnot, but time doesn't wait for us. Like you said, during that time of trusting and being patient, other clubs can make a decision that takes them from below us to above us. I've mentioned Chelsea last season, in and around the same position we was. They sack Lampard, they go on to make top 4 and win Champions League. This season, Tottenham and Man United, both in and around us, both sack their managers. The season's not over, so we don't know how it's going to go. But Conte at Tottenham and Ralph Rangnick at Manchester United has given them renewed hope. Whereas at Arsenal Football Club, it's still, let's see how it goes. Let's be patient. Even though prior to this season starting, I said the top 4 are clear. I said, in order for a position to be available in the top 4, one team has to really drop off. And if any team, it's going to be Manchester United. That's happened. So now the door is open for top 4. Surely patience is one thing, but a bit of, the light is there at the end of the tunnel. A bit of standards now can go a long way to achieving a goal this season that we didn't think was attainable, which is top 4.
Yeah, and you can't give a manager that much money and then not expect him to deliver. It's like Chelsea. Frank Lampard, he before that, he had the transfer ban. That season, he spent a ton of money and he didn't deliver and he was gone. And now Arteta, he has to deliver. And what he needs to deliver is Champions League football for Arsenal, because that's progress. You got out of the Champions League. Next thing, it's Champions League football. Then after that, sustaining it and then looking back at starting to challenge again. That's how you progress. It's not like, if we go from 8th this season back into 6th and back into that's not progress.
Yeah.
That's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or it's a mad one. And like you said, it's this forced positivity that a lot, like positivity for positivity's sake. And it's like feeling like you don't back the team. And again, and all of us fans, because I've been critical. I was critical of Moyes first time around. I was happy when we got rid of him first time around, and I was skeptical when he come back just because of how we played under him the first time. But that was because I wanted the best for West Ham, not because of any agendas. I was just worried that, look, this guy just about kept us up. We played terrible football. Now we're bringing him back, and and he done really well, and he proved me wrong, and that's all well and good. But it's all for the betterment of our clubs, and some people take it personally. I think that's the problem. If you're perceived as negative, you have a negative opinion. Some people take it negatively and don't realize that you both want the same thing for the club, and that's success.
And people need to remember, being positive about a negative is negative. So I really struggle with it all when I don't see that light at the end of the tunnel. Even though it's open this season and there is a space in top 4 available, I'll continue to say so far West Ham deserve it. You've gone into a fixture run of Manchester City, Liverpool and Chelsea, and you come out with 2 wins and unlucky not to maybe get a point at Manchester City, So you deserve to be there. I'd hope that in February, Arsenal are in and around there and I can say we deserve to be there. But at the moment, outside of top 4, it's a bit of a scramble. 1 week it'll be Arsenal 5th, 1 week it'll be Man United. Tottenham got 2 games in hand, and if they win those 2 games in hand, they actually come above you guys, which is interesting, to be honest, because it seemed like Tottenham were having such a terrible season, but they've made a decision managerially that could bear fruits or bear dividends come the end of the season. Let's look at this game though, Dan. We said it's a big one. Let me look at the last drop points at Emirates in this fixture. 9th of August 2015, a 2-0 loss at home to West Ham. in the last 3, we've won 2, drawn 1. Obviously, that 3-0, was it in January or February? You lot was 3-0 up. And
yeah, that was at our ground, wasn't it?
yeah.
I think that might have been there was one that I think was it February or March,
Yeah,
one
2
around
on
that
goal,
time,
wasn't it?
mate. And because that was the first one where we'd go 3-0 up and then just fall to pieces, because we did it against Leicester, but we managed to hold on for a win. And we did it against Wolves, and I think we managed to hold on for a win. But it was like, all right, we scored 3, let's just chill. And after that, I'd always get nervous whenever we scored 3 goals. So that game, playing Arsenal, man, it goes back a long time. I hate it. I hate it because the amount of times that we've played Arsenal, we've played so well, we've been the better team in the game, and just all of a sudden, Arsenal just come out and either, take a draw or take a win.
Yeah.
It just goes back time and time again. Last time we was at the Emirates, it happened. That home game, obviously, where you come and got the draw. For the past few times we played you at the Emirates. I mean, I remember going all the way back to when you came to our ground one Boxing Day, and we had Alex Song, and he scores that goal from outside the box. It gets ruled as offside crazily, and then you guys, I think, go on to win the game. Like that. It's just, I get so sick of it because it's the same thing over and over again. We play really well and we don't get the result. And that 3-3 game, mate, I was angry about that for a week. Literally, it took me a week to get over that result. I was
Dan, try being 4-0 up at halftime to Newcastle and drawing the game 4-4. Years later, I'm still thinking about that result. So
yeah, you're like, how? Like, and that's the thing. I look back on that Arsenal game now, right? And I say, imagine, okay, if we win that game, because I think we was only a couple of points off the top 4. And those are the results you look at and think, geez, if that just changed different, if that one, and you just stress, and I think we could have got Champions League, but yeah, so it's a fixture that always stresses me out. And no matter where Arsenal are, you guys could be 15th, and I would be stressing about this fixture. We could be 4th, you could be 15th, and I'd be looking at this like, oh man, they're gonna find a way. That's just how it is.
I look at your team, and I think in terms of character, especially this season, I think you lot should be a lot more confident than in recent seasons coming to the Emirates. Even though, like you said, you haven't found much success there, even when you do play well. I look at you lot being top 4, and there's some games there where you've needed to win to retain that position or to keep up the pressure, and you've done it. Whereas Arsenal have failed to do that. Against Everton, if we had won, this conversation could be very different. We could be the ones in top 4 at the moment, with you lot a point behind, and we're speaking in a different way with Arsenal currently in the top 4. So them fine margins do really matter. I want to pick out some key battles, Dan. I've picked out Partey Xhaka against Rice and Souček as, for me, the key one. I think Rice and Souček, what more can be said about them? I mean, they complement each other so well. Rice has come on leaps and bounds. He was already quality, and he just stepped it up again this season. Do you agree that's a key battle, or do you look at other areas of the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that'll be a key battle. Xhaka's a weird one, like, because he's one of them who can just be excellent, like, and in other games he could just lose his head or something like that. Like Partey, obviously, has been a bit of a disappointment since he signed for Arsenal. He's not lived up to his reputation, and whether that's on him or it's on the manager, I don't know. Like I said, Arsenal fans might know more than me, but it's surprising that he hasn't lived up to what it is like. So that looked like a big improvement, but you never know. Like he obviously is a quality player. So on the day he could just switch it on. So yeah, I think that will definitely be a key battle. I think Ramsdale looks like a player who I think could frustrate us because like I said, we do create a lot of chances, but he seems to be, saving a lot of being a good shot stopper, and he's won your player of the month 2 months in a row.
Yeah.
So
he's a fan favorite already,
Yeah, it's crazy, like, because Leno, I remember Leno, everyone, Arsenal fans were loving Leno, like he was so rated. Then he fell out of favor real quick, and Ramsdale's come in now, and people were like, a lot of Arsenal fans were like, why are we signing this guy? And a lot of other fans were like, what? Like bantering Arsenal for getting Ramsdale.
You know what it is, Dan? When you're used to a certain level at your club, and Arsenal have dropped off so far over the years that for example, I'll use Nacho Monreal as example. Nacho Monreal, I like Monreal. Like, he was a decent left back. But when a Tierney comes in, or even a Tavares comes in, you see the standard raised. And I kind of put it down to that as well. With Leno, I think at the time we was happy because he's a good shot stopper. But once playing at the back, started to come in a bit more, we saw Leno's, deficiencies. So Ramsdale has come in and set the standard again. So I think at Arsenal Football Club, it's not only the fan standards that have gone down, it's the clubs and the players and the level over the years. And hopefully with the acquisitions we made in the summer, like Ramsdale, like Ben White, Tomiyasu, I have to give a lot of credit to Tomiyasu as a right back, because for years, Bellerin, Maitland-Niles, Cedric, we had right back problems that I didn't see no end to. But Tomiyasu's come in, he's done well. Amongst other signings, Tavares has come in to compete with Tierney, that we didn't think that was possible, and he has. So hopefully the standards are slowly but surely raising. In terms of the Arsenal attack, Dan, where's the key battle for you? Where do you think Arsenal win this game if it comes down to it?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Look, we've obviously missing Zuma and Ogbonna, our two first choice centre backs. Yeah. So we're going to be having Diop and Dawson. Dawson, he's solid. He's one of them good, like, last ditch, head it out, clear it. But I think if you've got someone like skillful on the ball, maybe a Smith Rowe, I know he didn't start.
Martinelli,
Southampton. Anyone like that could maybe, maybe drag him out of position, like, take him on. I think that could be maybe where you get some joy in that side of things. He's not the most pacey centre back for sure. So I think, I think that could be. What's that?
What about fullback wise? If you was Arsenal, would you attack Creswell or would you attack Ben Johnson?
Well, Creswell and Ben Johnson are both injured as well.
They're both out as well.
They're both out. Yeah, Creswell's back. Like, I think it was.
If we don't win this game, I can't believe this. Your whole back four's out. If we don't win this game, then
back four. But yeah, so Masuaku is playing. Masuaku was really good against Burnley, but attacking is his strength. Like, going forward is what he's good at as a left back. Defensively, he can be prone to making mistakes for sure. Like, defensively is his weakness. So I would attack the left, because if you go on the right, you've got Soufal, and Soufal is just, he's a beast. He pocketed Grealish when we played them last season, and he's another level. Like, I think Johnson just kept him out because Johnson was so good. Like, Soufal got ill and just couldn't come back in because Johnson was so good. But Soufal.
Which is fair. That's how you set the level of competition there, isn't it? Yeah,
that's it. But so Masuaku, I'm nervous. I'm not sure who you guys have going on your right right wing. So it's Saka, So Saka, obviously quality player. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting battle. I don't know if Moyes is going to look at that and think, right, I need to put someone, maybe on the left wing you could support defensively, Masuaku defensively.
Yeah.
But that's going to be very interesting how we go about this game and how we approach it. If we'd approach it where, all right, let's try and counter attack, let's invite Arsenal on, or we just go at you, because it seems to be like you guys do like teams that open up a little bit more against you guys. So it's a case of, do we take that risk and trust in, we know that we score goals, you know what I mean? And we've scored more goals than Arsenal, and we've got that in our ability, and leave ourselves slightly vulnerable, or do we be patient? That's the question.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I don't know. That's why Moyes gets paid the big money, man. And I just sit here on YouTube, it's like I said, it's going to be a very interesting game for the neutral.
Yeah.
Antonio hasn't scored in a while. I'm hoping he's on his job. It's been a tough one, but the problem is he's the only striker we have.
That's another one. Ben White and Gabriel against Antonio. I put that down here as well, because Antonio is a presence up there, and he's sure going to put himself about, and the crosses are going to come in for him too. So it'll be a good test for White and Gabriel.
Yeah, big time. Like I said, because he's so physical, but he's so quick. He can hold the ball up well. Turn. He has that about him. So they're going to have to really focus. But at the same time, as you've got them focus on him, you've got Jared Bowen, who can come in and be a threat as well. He's been so good for us. Like against Chelsea, he was unplayable against Chelsea. The only thing is like, again, he needs to have quite a few shots before he finds his range, because some of the chances he misses, it frustrates the life out of me. But he's a menace. Like, he's definitely going to cause problems, and then it's going to be about whether we play Benrahma or we play Fornals. Like, I like Benrahma. I think he's skillful, but he also gets stuck into the defensive work as well. It's Moyes. It's all about the tactics, how he can get the tactics, but it's at the Emirates, man. So you guys do have a good record there. You've always had a good record there against a lot of teams. So I take nothing for granted. If we come out of this and draw, man, I wouldn't be grumpy. I'd tell you, I'd be pissed off if we draw. If we're winning, like, again, 3-0 and we draw, then I'll be annoyed. If it's a competitive fight, like, but yes. Oh man, I'm gonna be a bag of nerves at this game.
So let's stick our neck on the lines and give a prediction before we wrap it up, Dan.
Oh man, prediction.
I'll go first. As much as we've got a good record against you at home, the creativity issues at the club, it's a big problem for me. And we scored 3 against Southampton, and at times in that Southampton game, it was the best football we've played this season. But it's Southampton, and in that second half, they pretty much down tools. There was nothing that they had to offer. I'm gonna go with a 2-2. I think there's goals in the game, but I look at West Ham and I think the mentality and character. We can debate about quality of both sides, yes, but I think mentality and character, I don't think there's a debate. I think West Ham have shown more character and a stronger mentality over the last 2 years than Arsenal have. So I think 2-2. I'm not going to be happy with that, but I just see a draw.
Yeah, I do kind of see a draw. I could see that happening for sure. Odegaard is another player actually just come to mind.
Yeah,
he's been scoring goals. He's someone I'm worried about for sure. But yeah, looking at this game, I just feel like we do seem to respond, like in some of the, like we look at that Burnley game, we're frustrated. We should have won that. Now we're coming to Arsenal, and I'm feeling like, at the end of the day, Arsenal is still a big club, even though you're not up there now. It's still with the Chelseas and Liverpools and that. I'm feeling like we'll probably take it as if Arsenal are, and we'll turn up and give everything we can. So yeah, I kind of, mate, I feel like to say 2-1, but I know, like, I don't feel like I'm jinxing it. Like, when, like, you don't even really believe in jinxes, but you don't want to take any chance to affect this result. But do you know what? I'm gonna say 2. I feel like I've been predicting 2-1 all season. It never comes true, but I'm just gonna say it and hope it does.
So you're going 2-1 West Ham. Yeah. All right, people, let us know in the comment section what you guys are going for.
Have I frozen, by the way?
Well, your volume's there, but the image is frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the worst. What is that?
Right at the right time as well.
Yeah, it's stuck on that. All right.
Don't worry, we'll have it. That's how we wrap the show up, Dan. Let them know where they can find you as well. I'll put the links in the description below, but let them know before we leave.
Yes. West Ham Fan TV, obviously, at the Lawless on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dan Damo and Dan Damo Jace, with my 2 friends, and YouTube as well, mate. So thank you so much for having me. I'm really annoyed that this is the last vision that you guys will see of me. That's West Ham. I don't know. That's an omen.
That's either going to be a celebration picture come Thursday, or it's going to
be. There we go.
There we are.
I've got my side camera. That's what I was running on. But yeah, so hopefully that will be my celebration pitch. But yeah, we're doing a watch along for it. Obviously, you can have our watch along and AFTV's watch along at the same time, and check our reactions.
All right, then, Dan, love for coming on, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk again this season anyway. And like you said, people, go subscribe. Channel links and Twitter are all in the description below. Support the people. Dan, thank you. People, love for the love as always. Like I said, give us your thoughts in the description below. Not the description, the comment section below. And look out for Dan in the description section.